Good evening, everyone, and welcome aboard to another race weekend. We're here at Rockingham for race 2 on the schedule. Last weekend, the Daytona 500 was ran. Chris Dodd, a first-time winner, took home the win. He had ran well all race long and played it just right to capture his first Sony Cup Series win. He'll start 13th today in his 44 Hot Wheels Dodge. His teammate Ryan Griffin took the Sony Pole Award. Griffin has looked so fast in testing and finally getting to a speedway. Our first speedway, really, to get away from super speedway, the package there. We're about to see how everyone stacks up. Round 1 was the first race of the season at Daytona, but here at race 2 at Rockingham, everyone's going to be focused about the championship, the long season ahead for 2019, who are going to be our championship contenders for this year, who's going to be the driver that consistently runs top 10s, who can win races. That's all about to be decided right here at Rockingham, really to see the full picture, who's got their stuff right. Your 42-car field getting ready for 150 miles today. Let's get you down to start this race. For round 2 of the season, we're here at Rockingham, and we're about ready to get it underway. Ryan Griffin got the pole, and he's looked so quick like we mentioned. How is he gonna fare? Dejon Weeks has looked so quick as well. These two have looked so good in testing. It's about time to show your cards and see what you're made of. Dom Capps in that 6-2 had a great run in qualifying. Same with Kyle Collins. I'm interested to see how them two do today. The defending champion Nick Mace there in 5th. Dylan Young ran very well in this race last year. He's in 6th. Jeffrey Fengai, Bobby Jones, Charles Sanford, and John Art. That is your top 10. And for round 2 of the 2019 season, the pace car is about to make the dive onto pit road. The quest for the championship is about to get underway. Whose time is it going to be here today? Griffin leads us down, and we're underway. Green flag flies. We're racing. Jake West gets the wall just a little bit. Dejon Weeks clears Dom Capps for 2nd. Ryan Griffin and Dejon Weeks are about to go toe-to-toe here at Rockingham. Battle for 3rd, but Griffin will lead lap 1. Further in the back of the field, 3 wide racing. TJ Williams, teammate Jake West, Matt DeLeo gets sideways. James Shelley, that Team Hero Motorsports announced at the beginning of the week they will field that car full-time for this season with part-time drivers. James Shelley being a big role in that. Look at there. Ryan Acosta getting aggressive with Will Lewis. They're 3 wide with Bobby Jones. You got to think, Rockingham, this track will eat away at your tires. You got to be patient, and you got to race the racetrack because right now, you can't be doing your tires any favors. Look at there. Dom Capps is on the apron. He's down on pit road. Dom Capps, who qualified so well, was looked as possibly the underdog for possible an upset. Looked so quick in practice and qualifying, and he's on pit road, possibly a tire down. Lap 8 in the race. Brian Griffin leads over Dejon Weeks by half a straightaway over Kyle Collins, who has moved into 3rd. Charles Sanford's there in 4th, and Dylan Young in 5th. How about Dylan Schwellenberg? Schwellenberg moving his way up the order. He's in 6th. Fengai trying to get around Nick Mace here. Nick Mace sliding backwards. Zayden Davidson putting his Hero Motorsports forward in the top 10 here. Hero Motorsports has ran a little bit better than Turner Performance all weekend, which is a little surprising. And Hero Motorsports, Zayden Davidson right there in 8th. 9th position, TJ Martin right now, the highest Turner Performance car. Trying to get around Nick Mace, but he's going to hold that position. John Art underneath of Chris Dodd. A great run from Art here. Art qualified very well, and he was very happy about his qualifying performance, and he was hoping to do something similar here in the race, and he's looking competitive to do so. Here's a driver that's a little struggling here. Will Lewis and Jay Bassinger, 25th, 26th. Bobby Jones, who qualified very well as well, 24th. These drivers got shuffled so hard on the start of this race. Same with Luis Hernandez. as they have all fell outside the top 20. James Shelley trying to get into the top 20. PJ Williams has slid back just a little bit. How about James Richardson here, the rookie, having a great run in the top 20 for United Emirates Racing. Matthew Rodriguez, who didn't qualify very well, he's trying to get up there with John Art's crew, moving his way towards the front. Ryan Acosta mid-pack. Jesse Turner also trying to work his way through some race cars. Art underneath of Nick Mace for ninth. As we look further up the grid, it is still the same drivers as we have a new race leader. Here's how it happened. Dejon Weeks from the Twix Ford to the inside of Ryan Griffin. And Griffin trying to pinch him down just a little bit. He actually gave Weeks a little bit of some room there. He probably could have pinched him down just a little bit to keep him back. But Griffin racing the track rather than Weeks, and allows Dejon Weeks to take the lead. While Ryan Griffin trying to conserve his tires, Kyle Collins has ran the leaders down. They had pulled a pretty big gap on the opening of the race. And Kyle Collins for Horizon Group. Horizon Group came so close to winning with Doug Lockrow last week, and it was such a heartbreak for Doug Lockrow and team. They're wanting to get a win here with Kyle Collins. He ran so good in qualifying, and Collins, who hasn't won since Texas of season 17, in a good position here. Dodge backing up all the performances they ran in Daytona. And Kyle Collins right here with the leaders. Here's a driver 20 laps in that is really struggling. Cody Lamas was so disappointed after his qualifying run and didn't want to talk to anybody after that one. Qualified deep in the pack, and he's outside. Well, he is 30th position right now. He's made up a few positions, but he's battling Fitzwater and Jake West, so Lamas has a long ways to go and definitely has to make some adjustments on pit stops. Another driver that really will need to, Bobby Jones and Will Lewis, Luis Hernandez, and Jake Bassinger of others that are outside the top 20 that are desperately going to need some pit stop adjustments. Battle for second unfolding here. Kyle Collins underneath of Ryan Griffin. Such a great one for Kyle Collins. He's driven for Blue Flare Motorsports for many of the last few seasons. And Collins making the jump here at Horizon Group, and it's really paying off. He's up to second place. John Art in the 49 Toyota going after Jeffrey Fenguy here. And that was a position for 7th place. So John Art in the Martin Motorsports Toyota is doing a great job. The Toyotas were a big question mark about how they would do for the 2019 season, and they thought they would struggle a little bit because Toyota just seemed like they were lacking on some horsepower. But coming in this race weekend, Dom Capps was looked at as possibly one of the favorites because Dom Capps won here last year and knows how to get around at Rockingham, so it's a big shame that he had that problem. But John Art carrying the torch for Martin Motorsports right now. Looking deeper in the pack, Flying Aces Racing and the 05 making their debut here in the Sony Cup Series, so it's good to see a debut team here, and they made the race pretty comfortably. Stephen Jenkins back in a ride, didn't get a ride for the Sony Cup Series 2019 campaign, but here he is driving this team for their first race. He's back here in 36, right behind Nick Pericles. Anthony Marchese's there. Rodriguez Racing's Hardy's National Series program just got a win with Julio Caesar at Daytona. So they're looking good on the National Series side, but here in the Cup level, still building just a little bit as Marchese tries to get a good performance there. Eric DeMax further up in 32nd, following Fitzwater, who's struggling just a little bit compared to Jordan Fisher, who is up in 26th. Nick Mace's handling looks as though it's not the best in the world as Jesse Turner to the inside of him. That was a pass to make it into the top 10. So Turner, who kind of struggled at this track the last couple of years, is up in the top 10. Nick Mace, who won this race in the fall, has got his work cut out for him right now. We have a battle for the lead. Kyle Collins looking on Dejon Weeks. Weeks' car has kind of been fading away, and Kyle Collins edges out in front with the lead. One in a turn one. Weeks trying to put up a fight. Nah, he lets him go. Kyle Collins takes the lead of the race. Lap car Jack Halleck's going to be in the way of Dylan Schwellenberg. That's going to open the door for John Art to take this position here. And John Art takes the 6th position away from Dylan Schwellenberg. John Art having a great run right now. Ran a lot of he's ran a lot of races here in the National Series. And this is one of, if not the first time he's ever ran in the Cup Series here at Rockingham. But he's putting on a heck of a show for Martin Motorsports. It's great to see Toyota up here in the top 10 and challenging and trying to get up there into the top 5. John Art against Dylan Schwellenberg, drivers that have been racing each other in the National Series the last few years. And here they are in the Cup Series, racing each other in the top 10. Great to see. Jesse Turner continuing to pick his way through race cars. He just got around his rookie teammate TJ Martin. And Jeffrey Finguy as well now. He is up to 8. Here are some drivers that didn't really qualify that well, but they are working their way into the top 20. James Shelley for Hero Motorsports, a great run for him right now. DJ Curtis just in behind him in 18th for Martin Motorsports, and James Richardson. They have all started deep in the pack, like 30th or worse, and they're in the top 20. Chris Dodd, who qualified pretty well, he's down to 20th. Jake Bassier hasn't had the race he is looking for. Neither has Will Lewis. We talked about them needing to make adjustments on pit stops, and I feel like a few other drivers are really going to need to make some adjustments, like Caleb Hoffman and Cody Lamas as well. Some cars really struggling with handling right now. Jeffrey Finguy along with Nick Mace are some drivers I think are really struggling with handling right now. They just continue to fall back. They fell out of the top 10. Up front, Jordan Davis has worked his way into the top 10, just got past Jeffrey Finguy 2 laps ago, and he has fell way behind these guys. Ryan Acosta trying to work his way up after a poor qualifying showing. There he is in 11th, trying to work his way towards the front. Matthew Rodriguez really struggled in qualifying, trying to chase his teammate John Art down. From qualifying really well to running really bad, Bobby Jones and Zayden Davidson were running really well at the start, but I don't know if they burnt their tires off or if what they ran in qualifying just was not suited for the race. Just another pairing that is definitely going to need to make some adjustments on pit stops. They're about to go a lap down to Kyle Collins and Dejon Weeks. Lap cars, Eric DeMax and Jack Halleck in the way. Halleck's going 2 laps down. Eric DeMax is trying to stay 1 lap down, but he's in the way. Kyle Collins trying to get around him. Dejon Weeks is there, looking for any mistake by Collins, but Collins is all over Eric DeMax. Lap cars are also in the way for Dylan Young. He's running in 5th, but not anymore. Here comes John Art the inside. John Art edges out in front with 5th place there, taking it away from Dylan Young, who's ran very well at this track before. And Art continuing to impress people here, moving his way up to 5th. Ryan Acosta, Matthew Rodriguez is closing on this battle for 10th. Jordan Davis slamming the door on Ryan Acosta, trying to hold on to a top 10 spot. Finishing in the top 10 has never been more important in the Sony Cup Series. With the new point system, I encourage everyone to look at it. The point system, it is 2 points per position when running inside the top 10. So if you can move up 1 extra spot inside the top 10, like Jordan Davis just did, that is 2 extra points just by moving up 1 extra spot in the top 10. And Ryan Acosta's in the top 10. Top 10s have never been more important. And Ryan Acosta's there now. Matthew Rodriguez closing in as well. Lap car Jose Mills getting in the way of Dylan Schwellenberg. That allows Jesse Turner to get around him here on lap 50. And Jesse Turner now into 7th. And here comes Matthew Rodriguez. The Toyotas might not be so bad after all. Matthew Rodriguez, who qualified far back in the field, he's working his way into the top 10. DJ Curtis and James Shelley continuing to work their way through traffic. Nick May, Sean Harple just got overtaken. And Curtis and Shelley on the move into the top 15. Pit stops are unfolding, and Dejon Weeks is one of the first of the leaders to come down pit road. Kyle Collins, your leader, coming down pit road. So this is going to be a big money stop for the 86 team. In pit stops, John Art blows the motor. And John Art, what a fantastic run going for John Art. And his engine lets go. Man, that is John Art's luck right there. Carried over from the National Series into the Cup level, and a poor break for John Art. Here's what pitting early will do for you. 1 lap of pitting early. Dejon Weeks is your new race leader by about 2 seconds over Kyle Collins. Collins back now in second. Third position is Ryan Griffin. There he is. He's about 5 seconds back. They'll have to make one more pit stop. Griffin and Sanford and Davis. Davis, a great jump for him to be up there in 5th. Turner 6th. Young in 7th. TJ Martin 8th. Curtis is up to 9th. A great run for Curtis after starting out back. Battle for 7th ongoing. There's also a big battle back there for 9th with Curtis and Acosta. TJ Martin gonna pass Dylan Young here. Young gonna try and fight back. Jack Alec, who has been really slow out there, gonna get lapped again by these guys. Martin battling Young. Young not wanting to give that spot up, but he's forced to give it up there. Acosta has beat that back bumper off that 19. Really wanting to get that spot, but Curtis not willing to let it go right now. And Curtis, since his teammate of John Art fell out of the race, TJ Curtis is now... Oh, Ryan Acosta blows the motor! Now, another engine failure. This time it's a Dodge. Jeffrey Finguy has to go really wide. He worked his way back up to 11th. But Ryan Acosta, a poor break for Acosta in the top 10. And this is going to hurt him in the points, too. It's a little past halfway here in the race. Ryan Acosta just blew up. John Art just blew up. 2 really good cars there in this race. We'll take you through the field, at least on the lead lap for the top 20. Dejon Weeks is your leader. Kyle Collins trying to run him down. He's there in 2nd. 3rd place, you got to go all the way back to Ryan Griffin. Griffin's been there in 3rd for most of the race now. And you're going to need to have pit strategy or good adjustments to get himself back up there in contention to win. He's still relatively in the fight for it, though. Same with Charles Sanford. He's there in 4th. He's got a ways to fight, though. Back in 5th. Let's take you back to 5th. Where is 5th place? There it is. It's a big battle here with Jordan Davis and Jesse Turner. They've been going at it for the last few laps. Davis able to hold off Turner every time. Turner usually gets off the gas a little sooner than Davis and tries to get a run on him down the straightaway, just like he's trying to do right now, and try and make a run into the corner, but Davis sails it off in there, not allowing him to get a run. That's the battle there for 5th. But the battle for 7th, again, Dylan Young underneath of Martin to get that spot away, and Curtis, since he got away from Ryan Acosta, who blew up, he's able to run these guys down. He's in 9th. 10th place is Jeffrey Finguy moving up into the top 10 after Ryan Acosta blew his motor. 11th is Will Lewis. He's made good adjustments to get himself relatively up close to the top 10. Nick Mace under him for 11th. 13th place is the Daytona 500 champion of Chris Dodd. And that is the only cars on the lead lap. 13 cars on the lead lap. 14th place is Jake Bassinger. 15th is Cody Lamas. A great rebound for him. 16th for Matthew Arriga, 17th Dylan Schwellenberg, he fell back, had a bad pit stop. 18th PJ Williams, 19th is United Emirates Racing of James Richardson, and 20th is Sean Harple with James Shelley and Charlie Smith right in behind. And another engine failure, Caleb Hoffman and the 94 Ford is going to fall out of the race. So that makes nearly all manufacturers now that have blown an engine besides a Chevy. Jeffrey Finguy looking for another spot. Curtis looking for another spot. Martin looking for another spot. But Finguy underneath of Curtis here. And the Dodgers have looked so fast. And they're going to be one to contend with most of this season. They look like they have things figured out. And Finguy up to 9th around Curtis. Ryan Griffin has ran back down the 86 of Kyle Collins. Griffin, who kind of faded a little bit, not too far back, but he faded away in that first run before pit stops, and here he is coming back, trying to run down Kyle Collins, who is about 3 seconds behind. Dejon Weeks, your leader. And further up, Dejon Weeks has a pretty sizable gap. Chris Dodd is still on the tail end of the lead lap in 13th. That is the last few cars on the lead lap. Dejon Weeks has looked like a really fast race car to contend with, and he's going to be tough to beat. This battle for 5th place continues to go on, but I think Turner is going to finally have him here. And with Jack Halleck multiple laps down in that Roush family car, in testing they looked a little faster than this. I'm sure this is very disappointing for them. Getting lapped again, and Turner gets around Jordan Davis there for 5th. Ryan Griffin has caught Collins, and he's about to pass him right here. 2 dodges, going for 2nd, and no challenge really. Collins hands it over, even whether he wanted to or not, and Griffin takes it back. TJ Martin is not going to be real happy with Jack Halleck. Nick Mace coming up to get to 10th place. Martin trying to get around Halleck. Halleck's in the way of Martin again. Nick Mace gets the 10th spot, but man, up the hill goes TJ Martin. Martin's going to lose out on a lot of lost ground and loses the top 10 spot. Yamp Motorsports has looked so quick this race weekend. Davis and Young, more Davis than anything. Davis kind of struggled in qualifying, but he kept his head up and thought he was going to be good in the race, and indeed he was. But Dylan Young going to take that spot away from Jordan Davis there. That is for the 6th spot. And Young coming back to the front. They made good adjustments on that 88. Lap cars have not been Dejon Weeks' best friends, and Ryan Griffin has been slicing through them like butter. He's trying to run down Dejon Weeks. Weeks has had a pretty good lead on him all race. And Griffin kind of been left in the dust for the most part of this race until now. And Griffin closing the gap. Battle for 9th. Nick Mace underneath of DJ Curtis looking to take it away, and he will. Underneath of Curtis. Curtis really no fight. Lets him go. And Mace up another spot. TJ Martin, Jake Bassinger, they are racing the leader really hard here to stay on the lead lap. It is lap 104 of 153, and Weeks finally cuts clear of TJ Martin, puts him a lap down. Only 12 cars on the lead lap now. Griffin is right there. Collins lurking in the background. The gap is less than a second for Griffin, 2 seconds for Collins, and 12 seconds back to Sanford. And Dejon Weeks trying to keep that 43 behind him. Dejon Weeks has blown the motor. Dejon Weeks heading to pit road, and one of the dominant cars of the day has just blown up. Another engine failure, and it's another Ford. Oh boy, so many engine failures today. Costly for Dejon Weeks. 2 bad weeks in a row. Weeks is going to fall out of it. Man, this is not how any competitor wants to go out of the race or lose one. It's by an engine failure right here. Griffin takes the lead away. And I can tell you for sure, Griffin wanted to race that one out. He did not want to see Weeks go out of the race like that if he wanted to have a fight for the win. Weeks is going to fall out of it, and man, he's not going to look good on points at all after the first 2 races. Well, Ryan Griffin has a pretty comfortable lead over Kyle Collins right now. 2 seconds is the margin. Then you have Sanford there in 3rd, 12 seconds back. Then it's Jesse Turner, Dylan Young, Jeffrey Finguy, Nick Mace, DJ Curtis, Jordan Davis, and Will Lewis. Lewis just passed Jordan Davis. Lewis, who has been outside the top 20 for the most part of the race, had great strategy to get his car adjusted. He's in the top 10. Pit stops are going underway. Dylan Young, DJ Curtis, they're in. And you see the leader, Ryan Griffin, is on pit road. Griffin handed the lead over to Kyle Collins. He's now your new leader again. And pit stops are jammed up right now, and this is not going to help Kyle Collins at all. Leaving pit road, DJ Curtis gets slight damage here with Matt DeLeo. And that damage right there could affect their aerodynamics, but he's going to run it all the way to the end of the race. Hearing there's more problems on pit road, Nick Mace leaving, Charlie Smith trying to come in, and problems. Charlie Smith is going to have to back it up, and that's going to be a penalty for trying to get your stall right there. And Nick Mace probably some slight damage as well. Well, pit stops right there worked to Ryan Griffin's favor by a lot. 7 seconds is the margin to Kyle Collins. Collins, Sanford, Young, Turner. That is your top 5. He is fixing to pass Will Lewis, who is the last car in the lead lap, and he is in the top 10. Jeffrey Fenguy 6th, Curtis 7th, Nick Mace 8th. He's actually right there 9th now. Davis got around him. Davis in 8th, Mace 9th, and Will Lewis is lapped down right there in 10th. Going to take you through the top 20. Chris Dodd's there in 11th. He's further back. TJ Martin at 12th. You see there with Cody Lamas 13th. Great rebound for him. Jake Bassier 14th. Matthew Rodriguez 15th. PJ Williams having a good run there in 16th. Bobby Jones 17th. Sean Harple 18th. Dylan Schwellenberg 19th. And Zayden Davidson 20th. Look at this. Chris Dodd in 11th has ran his teammate down. And he's in 11th trying to pass DJ Curtis and knock him out of the top 10. Man, Will Lewis has moved his way up to 9th, while Curtis, he's going to find himself outside of the top 10. TJ Martin also trying to get in this mix as well. Cody Lamas not that far behind. Top 10s mean a whole lot in the championship fight because remember what I said, 2 points of position if you're finishing inside the top 10. From 9th to 8th position, it's just 2 points. Anywhere inside the top 10, you move up a spot, you get an extra 2 points rather than the 1 point per position. So it's very critical to get top 10 finishes. And Chris Dodd, the Daytona 500 champion, moving his way up in the top 10. A great start of the year for Dodd. And another engine failure. What engine failure is this again? How many engine failures have we seen? Eric DeMax was running in 28th. He had a solid top 30 run for Rodriguez Racing going, and his engine has let go as well. Battle for the 5th position. Jeffrey Fenguy underneath of Jesse Turner. Jeffrey Fenguy, this is going to be a pretty good year, I believe, for him. Him and his race team, along with Allen Family Racing Team, they have just clicked on something. Ryan Griffin leading this race. Such a great show to see that Allen Family Racing Team has been able to turn something around. I can't say for certain that like speedways like Las Vegas or the road courses, but man, when you go to Daytona, run that well. You come here to Rockingham and run so well. Get on the pole, and coming up, closing in on about 20 to go with a pretty big lead here, over 4 seconds now. And Fenguy also has passed Dylan Young, so that's something to highlight too. He's up to 4th, so the only drivers that are in front of him is Charles Sanford, and he's a ways ahead. And Sanford's actually cut the gap down on him and Ryan Griffin, but I don't believe it's going to be able to amount to anything. Jack Halleck in the way of Chris Dodd, and instead of hurting TJ Martin, he's actually helping him a little bit in terms of being in the way. And this is a battle for 10th. Dodd falls out of the top 10 while TJ Martin moves up a spot. As Jesse Turner can tell you very well after last year's championship battle, every point matters, and getting as much spots as you can, especially in the top 10, is so critical. 2 points could mean the difference. And Turner, underneath of Dylan Young here with less than 10 to go, this is a spot for the top 5. And Dylan Schwellenberg, who looked like he had a good run going early on, fell off and didn't make the good adjustments to keep up with everybody. He's there in 22nd. Okay, so we are under caution. Watch as the pace car lights come on. Right about here, the pace car lights come on. But there is nothing on the racetrack, so there is a debris yellow here with less than 10 laps to go. Can this man, Ryan Griffin, hold on? We're about to find out for the restart. As we get set for the restart, Kyle Collins is a ways back, and they're restarting single file, so Griffin just needs to check out. But there is potential for a big battle and a big shakeup to get into the top 10 spot. TJ Martin has it. However, there's a huge possibility some drivers all around could have a big shakeup in the finishing results. We're about to see how it all plays out. With about 5 laps to go, Ryan Griffin has not won a race since Kansas of 2017, his rookie year. Here at Rockingham, he won the pole. Can he do it again? Can he win here at Rockingham? Chris Dodd trying to get around Cody Lamas. Lamas blocks Dodd off. That's a big battle for 10th, like we mentioned. And Martin going to be able to hold him off. Remember, they're on old, worn tires. Dodd further back, trying to get around some slow lap cars. And there's Alexander Rowe. Alexander Rowe will be driving the row 5 car. Steven Jenkins got into the wall. But further back, Jeffrey Finguy's in 4th. Here comes Sanford trying to battle Kyle Collins here for 2nd. 4 laps to go. Here comes Sanford looking to the inside. But Louviere's there as well. DJ Curtis, that little damage on pit road has hurt him tremendously. He's trying to fight PJ Williams and Cody Lamas. Sean Harple's there in 15. Matthew Rodriguez, Chris Dodd all racing each other really hard here. TJ Martin still holds the 10th spot. Jake Bassinger's got around Dodd and them. He's into 11th. But up front, it's cruise sailing for Ryan Griffin. Dylan Young has shuffled out Jeffrey Finguy. He has worked his way up to 4th. Finguy down to 5th. Will Lewis is up here battling and racing Jesse Turner, but Turner's back underneath of him. 2 laps of racing to go, and Turner's going to get this 6th spot back from him. I don't know. Will Lewis is trying to hang on the top and pinch him down just a little bit. But up front, Ryan Griffin is going to see the white flag to signal the end of the race here. One more time around for Ryan Griffin. Man, if the engine would not have expired on the 38 Ford of Dayton Weeks, what kind of battle could we have seen for this win? Griffin in command of this race, and he's going to get his 2nd career win and 1st race win. Allen Family Racing Team goes back-to-back, the 500 and Rockingham. Griffin wins Rockingham for round 2. Griffin gets the win here. TJ Martin hangs on for the 10th spot over teammate Bassinger. Further back for 2nd place, Charles Sanford, who has been so quiet all day, works his way on a restart by Kyle Collins to get 2nd. And 3rd place for Kyle Collins. 4th position goes to Jeffrey Finguy. He got it back from Dylan Young. Young falls to 5th. And how about that for Will Lewis? He holds on to that spot and gets 6th. 7th for Jesse Turner. 8th for Nick Mace. 9th for Jordan Davis. And like we mentioned, TJ Martin got 10th. But a great run for Ryan Griffin. He gets the win today. 2nd win of his career. 1st win of the season. And Allen Family Racing Team goes back-to-back to start off 2019. Great job for Ryan Griffin. Man, let's get finishing results and standings after round 2.